Hey guys, I've been away for a bit, and I have things to say. So today I'm doing two videos, but this is the one explaining what's happened. Because boy, is it ever kicked off since I've been away. Obviously, I never said anything about that Liverpool thing, but on Friday night in Leicester, somebody must have got the feeling inside them. So somebody in Leicester mowed over a lot of people, and I think there were 6 or 7 in hospital. No fatalities, but from what I could gather, that was like a fight that had continued outside. I don't know, but it was up round where I was staying because I had a friend come down from Bridlington for the weekend because we went to a rave, don't ask, on Saturday, right? And he came down the day before. So I'm like, right, okay, he loves karaoke, I love karaoke. So we went, I'm like, all right, I'll take you to the karaoke then. Ended up staying at the guest house he was staying on the Friday. We went to the karaoke. Got back about 12, quite good for me, to be fair. But while we were out, something very interesting happened. Obviously, in Leicester, well, there was a stabbing earlier on in the day, and then this geezer mowed down a load of people in the street. Hilarious, right? I'm like, oh shit, that's just somebody, monkey see, monkey do, copycat. Oh, that's a good idea, let's do that. Because the chances of there being of somebody just ploughing into a load of people when that's just happened. It does seem to be a thing, and when you think about it logically, a car is a really good tool of causing maximum damage if you like that in the head. Yeah, so that was happening up where the guest house that I was staying in was, and around that area, and the police had encouraged people not to speculate. Now, when the police say we encourage people not to speculate, the first thing I do is start speculating why I'm being asked not to speculate. So articles that I usually couldn't give two shiny shits about, I go and have a look at, literally because I've been told that I'm not allowed to, because we live in the UK, and the UK is a massive bag of bollocks. And usually what they don't want you to speculate on is the colour of that person's skin, right? Now, where it happened, where I stayed for that one night, I barely saw a white face. I left to go down into town, came back the one night, and then the next day I went down into town, and literally there are very, very few white people. I saw some over the road somewhere, but in Leicester there's more and whatever. But this whole area is mainly people of a different complexion, let's say. But there are a few in town, and literally I couldn't give two shiny shits. I hope that the people that this van has harmed, get better really soon. But it doesn't. I wasn't involved in that fight, like this, that, and the other. What was involved in, and what I've been itching to tell you, but I've been so knackered. We went to this karaoke bar in Leicester. I had a brilliant time, absolutely love it. At some point in time, I'd come out the front to have a fag. For my American friends, this is a cigarette, right? So I was out the front having a fag, and I was K-lied, bit tipsy. Not like monumentally tipsy, but tipsy and happy, because singing, drunk, good friends, I was in a merry mood, right? And I have this thing anyway, where if I think somebody is an attractive person, I will let them know that, because I think there's so much nastiness in the world, and people are so down on themselves, and people are often so lost because the world makes no sense. I want to put smiles on faces. Do you know what I mean? Anyways, saw these two blokes chatting outside the pub. Now, I'd already collared a few people going by. and said like, oh my God, you know, like, you're really cute and whatever. I'm not coming on to these people. I am just being nice, right? And I think it's a good thing to do. So I'd seen these two, let's call them foreigners, right? And there was a tall one and a shorter one. Now I clocked the tall one, and I'm like, oh, he's a rather handsome man. So I shimmied my way over and said, you're a very handsome man, you know. He's like, thank you very much. He was wearing, now, no, this isn't racism. This is just fucking pointing out what you call things. He was wearing what I've done since the 90s, a terrorist scarf. You know, the ones with the little bubbles on, big old scarf. Really warm day it were. I never, you know, like, there's no sand that you're getting into your neckline in Leicester City Centre. Don't get why he was wearing it. But, you know, like back in the early 2000s and what, but the days where the Taliban were really famous, 9/11 and all this kind of thing. That door's just flown open, that's all we need. Yeah, and they have them little hats. I used to have one of those hats, you know, the fabric hats that go up and out and whatever. Terrorist hats, Taliban hats, right? So anyway, this dude was wearing one of these scarves, like Taliban-y scarf. I went over and I said, like, oh, you're really handsome. And he's like, thank you. And I turned round to come away and I clocked his friend, right? Not a very tall man, right? So we were sort of like, I'm sort of like looking up at this dude, turn around, eye level with this guy. Oh, Jesus Christ, he was beautiful. He was stunningly beautiful. And I think the fact that I was there, gone all cougar, and was like, oh my God, you're so handsome. Like, literally, wow. Like, he got the most beautiful eyes, you know, perfect teeth, very tidy beard. It was just perfect to look at. He was a thing of beauty, right? So I think it's because I was, you know, slapping me fanny on a plate that, well, not literally, that he was a bit kinder to me than usual. Anyways, so it turns out he's from Afghanistan, and he has been here for 6 months, right? Now, I wish that if I had a time machine, I would go back, because he was speaking to me, you know, relatively freely. So many questions, you know, like, but you don't think, you know, because I wasn't expecting to be in this situation, to be faced with a boatman, you know, in real life. And he could speak really quite good English. So I asked him a couple of questions. I asked him what taqiyya means, which is the Islam, you know, the lying about your religion and whatever in order to promote Islam. I asked him how you pronounce it and whatever. And I have a Muslim friend, and I asked him how to pronounce it yesterday, and they both gave me exactly the same facial expression of, don't know. Like they'd never heard of it. Like one of their key things of lying about their religion to further their religion. Both of them were like, no. News to me, love. First I've heard. Right? But now, just to precursor this one, right? I don't even know if that's the right word. Last week, I did do a video about it. I spoke to a chap that works for the BBC Radio Leicester, about the mosque that's opening up the road, and the corruption behind it, the there's no other word but corrupt way that this has been wangled by the police and the government, right? The Leicester City Council have literally gaslit us, pissed on us and told us it's raining, like literally, and lied, right? It's not just the Muslims that are lying about this, it's the whiteys that are lying about this, right? So we can't blame Muslims. like in general, because it's us going, here you go, have it. Women and children have them, right? But I'd spoken to this policeman and I'd said, what bothers me is the fact that this mosque is next to a primary school, opposite the road from a playground, and it's in these guys' law that they can take any woman or girl that's not wearing a hijab for their own sexual pleasure and for the promotion of Islam. So literally to just birth Islam, to take over, right? Just impregnate everybody. Buff, you got it, like a nation of Muslims. And I am very big on the protection of women and children, and our government is very big. Well, the people who own the government, the bankers, the people who run the world, them bastards, as I call them, have a vested interest in women not getting any kind of respect whatsoever. They have built their whole thing on the demonization of women. And when women started waking up, which, were their biggest enemy at the end of the day, when we started to go like, no, hold on a minute, but this isn't fair. It's like, right, well, we'll just become women and just literally make you a laughing stock, right? But obviously, Eve, it's like nobody would die if it weren't for women, that kind of thing. This is what them bastards have handed down to us forever, so that the patriarchy can stay in control. So yeah, so this dude, I'm like, that's what's bothering me, is the safety of women and children. Is in this men's law that they can rape women and girls and little boys too, but they just can't have gay sex. But little boys, they can roger little boys perfectly fine. And the guy from the BBC, the Englishman from the BBC, said that's not legal in the UK. You've got nothing to worry about. Right? I'm like, these people rape. He's like, that's not legal. You'll be fine. Stark contrast, stood there with this Afghan boatman, said, what bothers me is that like it's in your law that you can rape women and children. That man answered, yes, we do. Yes, we do. And what of it? It's like, yes, we see women as lesser beings than us. Women are just there for our sexual pleasure. And I think I got it out of him, because literally I was there going, please, I didn't say this. But he was divine to look at. And in my head, the piss-takey part of Carrie Ann was like, rape me harder, daddy. You know what I mean? Like, literally, please, I am not demeaning this. I am fighting for women and children here. But occasionally, the gags just, I can't help myself, right? But the white man said, no, you're fine, you're safe, it's illegal. The man that stepped off a boat 6 months ago says, yes, you're lesser than us, you are there to be raped. Do you see the difference in those two things? Do you know what I mean? I do not get it, how white people... It's because we've been told that we're racist if we think these things. I heard it come out of one of their own mouths. Yes, women are there for our sexual pleasure. Yes, we're allowed to rape them. Yes, that's in our law. Yes, we are allowed to rape. Do you see? Oh, I'd just love to go back to the BBC guy, but you get nowhere. Like we get nowhere with Leicester City Council, because that's all fucking corrupt and backhanders and fucking infiltrations and shit like this. The police, absolutely no fucking help whatsoever. Like the police, they have a presence at that empty, soon-to-be mosque. The police are protecting them from us. The police you're not even allowed to talk to the police about the rape gangs. Sorry, grooming gangs. Most people call them grooming gangs because you can't say rape. my channel isn't monetized. I don't think I can, like, they can't demonetize me for speaking me truth and whatever. So yeah, let me know what you think about that in the comments below, and then I'm going to come back with another video on, funnily enough, the government. But yeah, we've bullshit, absolute bullshit. We are not safe. We will never be safe. And if it's true what they're saying, that these mosques hold weapon caches, I'm not going to know my estate in 2 years' time. I already don't. We had COVID, right? And then literally after that, boom, shitloads of people on my estate that can't speak English. Where did they come from? When I can't get a different house, my son can't move out because there aren't the properties, and yet, boom, people from all over the world, all like a massive amount of them, have just appeared on my estate over a couple of years. Pre-COVID, we didn't have any. Do you know what I mean? There are Somalians fucking everywhere. Does this not seem like our government is giving favouritism to people from other countries? And as this man said himself on Friday night, they have different standards. They are brought up different. They have different fucking laws. They have different feelings. They see the world in a different way, and they definitely see women and children in a different way. And I'm sorry, but I'm going to keep pipping up about that, because somebody somewhere needs to stand up for the fucking safety of women and children. Anyways, if you made it to the end, I owe you a bevy and a little sing-song at the karaoke. Why not, eh? Thank you for coming. Please come back and never forget that I love you all. Bye.